Welcome back to my podcast, dear listeners. We are on episode 72. In 1990, when I was 17, I joined Sophia College for first year senior college. I had been inculcating discipline in my routine, which had become a lot easier since addressing my anemia. My attention span and physical endurance started improving. I now had rhythm in my life that I was controlling, with the support of my family, of course. We underestimate the importance of these subtle nuances in our life and call them small acts. But they are not small at all. The support, the little things that we call little things that the people around us do for us lovingly, that our family does for us, they buoy and support us so beautifully, and sometimes that can make all the difference between winning and losing, between succeeding and failing. When we know someone has our back, as the Americans call it, having one's back, it energizes us like nothing else can. It is a knowing, a subtle knowing, not even a conscious thought, but it buoys us tremendously. Now, my family supported me in these little, almost imperceptible ways, and I found out how much it helped me only when I was married and completely deprived of it. I usually asked Dad to wake me up at 5:30 in the morning. I had to get up at 5:30 if I wanted to make it to college at 8 o'clock. If I didn't feel like waking up, I'd say, 5 more minutes, Dad. Or sometimes I'd say, 10 more minutes, please. And poor Dad, he would sit and wait that much time instead of going back to sleep as he had originally planned. And sometimes he would come wake me up a second time, and I would again be like, Dad, just 5 more minutes. And again, he would sit and wait, counting the minutes to come wake me up again. That was so kind. That was such a loving gesture. Sometimes Ruby would inspire me, saying how my future self would thank me for waking up on time and how I'd regret and feel bad if I missed my morning workout. Usually this worked, and I'd get up and do my workout. My neighbor Bernadette had received an aerobics chart from her cousins in the US when they had visited her so that she could lose weight, and she had generously shared it with us. I had Xeroxed it. It was a huge chart, so we had Xeroxed multiple A5 sheets and pasted them. We had sellotaped them together, and then I had put it up in our room, and I had gotten the routine by heart after a while. The way my brain was, I couldn't immediately get things by heart. I had to have a lot of repetitions before I could get things by heart. So usually I'd wake up at 5:30, do my exercises, and then get into the bathroom for a cold shower. This felt so invigorating. Meanwhile, Mom made parathas for me. Basic salt parathas that she rolled with a chunda or murabba inside. She packed 2 for my dabba and gave me 2 to eat for breakfast. Usually there was no time to eat at home with that rush, run. So I'd get into the car at 6:30 while Dad drove me to station, and in that 5-minute drive, I'd gobble up those 2 parathas. I had to get into a train at Vikhroli station, then change at Dadar terminus from the central line to the western line, where I took a train to Grant Road station. Then I'd queue up at the bus stop and took a bus to Bulabai Desai Road up to Sophia College. I would stand at the train door holding the bar, enjoying the morning breeze. So the doors would always be open. I don't know how it's now, but at that time the train doors would always be open and you could kind of hang out and just have the breeze coming at you, beautiful, feeling so good, watching the beautiful morning sky. So I'd be there standing at the train doors, feeling the breeze on my face, watching the beautiful morning sky, trying my best to ignore the rows and rows of pooping men sitting along the tracks. And I would be trying not to breathe when I crossed them, and I'd just try to look in a different direction. So I would be trying not to breathe their poopy odors when we crossed them. Entering the train, the women had a way of quickly asking each other where they would get down, and if someone who had a seat was getting off before you, you kind of booked the seat, so to say. You just told the woman, let me sit when you get up. So she'd kind of tap you and let you know when she was getting up so that you could take the seat. And everyone cooperated on this. The total number of people who could be seated in this little first class ladies compartment was 9 on the long seat and 3 and 3 on the opposite 2 seats that faced the long seat. If the 3-seat women kind of pushed close enough to each other, a fourth person could park half their butt on the seat. So a total of 17 people could sit in this compartment and the rest of us would stand, meaning most of us would stand. What made this more exhausting for me was the multiple changes. By the time I found a seat going from Vikhroli to Dadar, it was time to get off at the other terminus. Also, I had yet to figure out that it was easier to get off at Parel and then switch to the Western line. Parel was a lot less crowded, so the hustle bustle was less. It was some more time after observing other Sophia girls who commuted the same route that I figured out that I could take a fast train to Grant Road if I went to platform 4 instead of platform 2. So all these learnings came step by step. At the time, I was at my fittest and strongest. So when mom asked me to inquire at the hostel if I could be accommodated, I couldn't understand why. Mom probably felt bad for the long commute that I had to endure every day. So later I could see what she meant, because by the time I reached home, I would be wiped and I needed a nap because of how exhausting the 3-hour commute was. But in the mornings, fully energized, I would run with the Mumbai train commuters, almost flying off the overhead bridges, the metal stairs too smooth with constant use. Zooming down these stairs to reach the bus stop queue in time for the first bus. I'd sometimes worry that I'd slip. I never did, but one morning I watched in amusement and dismay as another girl from my college slid down smoothly after landing on her butt right at the top stair, her long dress flying up in a Marylin Monroe-sque manner, giving everyone a glorious view of her legs and panty. This reminded me of when Zaina ma'am had fallen off the train at Dadar and her dress had flown up above her hips, and then she had looked straight in my eyes while I was laughing at her. Good times, fun times. Later on, if I saw that the bus queue was too long, we would have to wait for the second bus, I'd just walk the 30 or 35 minutes to college instead of waiting 15 or 20 minutes at the bus stop for the second bus to arrive. Reaching college before 8, I would see the residents of Sterling Apartments. That was a building right across from our Sophia College entry, and it was this huge, expensive building where only very, very rich people lived. So I would always be intimidated by the Sterling Apartments crowd. I would be like, whoa, these people are so rich. So I would see the residents of Sterling Apartments walk sleepily in what seemed to be their PJs, but were probably their workout clothes. They'd be walking sleepily behind their trainer as part of their warm-up, I presume. At other places on my way, I'd see mostly women, but sometimes men, still looking sleepy and unshowered at the bus stops, waiting for school buses that would pick up their children. At the time, I'd feel so superior to them. Here were all these raggedy looking people who'd barely dragged their sleepy asses out of their houses, uncombed, unbathed. And here I was, having done my morning workout, taken a cold shower, commuted 90 minutes, and feeling as fresh as a daisy, fully energetic, fully energized, ready to face the day. I would feel so proud. Now, as a 50-year-old, I cannot imagine doing this daily commute. But at that time, I would sometimes even walk from Sophia College to Grant Road carrying those heavy psychology journals, even 2 at a time, no less, and think nothing of it. That was just all in a day's work. I was so enthusiastic, I'd even undertake the commute during vacations to practice the annual day dance. My best friend at Sophia College couldn't believe that I was willing to put that much effort to just go practice dance. Later, when as a school teacher I directed the entire annual day function that had been a super hit, the principal had remarked to my husband, "She has a special spark. Don't let her lose that spark. Protect it." The principal had no way of knowing that my husband had been actively destroying my spirit almost from the beginning. But that is another story for another time. I'll see you next time, telling you more about Sophia College and my experiences there. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy. Bye for now.